There is nothing better than a long conversation to get to know someone. You're sharing stories, laughing, smiling, and then... Oh, well, the weather's nice, isn't it? Small talk is the engine that keeps the conversation going. And today, you will learn the techniques to maintain that engine so that you will always have something to talk about. Are you ready? Let's begin. Main topics and subtopics. If small talk is the engine, then the topics are the fuel. There are always so many topics to talk about, but it's better to start with general topics. Sports, music, hobbies, movies. It really doesn't matter which topic you pick first, so just go with the flow. After choosing a topic, it's time to pick a question. You can ask so many different questions using a different combination of question words and topics. Now this next step is important. When you ask the question and the other person replies, pay attention to two things: their reaction and answer. If they look interested and give a long answer, they probably like this topic. But if they look bored and give a short answer, it's probably best to change topic. After you find a common topic that you're both interested in, you can dive into subtopics. Let's say you're both really into rock music. Subtopics might be things like singers, lyrics, concerts, and so on. Again, you can combine subtopics with question words to make an endless list of questions. However, unless you and your partner are absolutely crazy about this topic, if you talk about it for too long, you'll get pretty bored. So this is when we switch topics. Variety is the spice of life. In other words, variety equals interesting. Switching topics often is great for getting to know someone, so don't be afraid to switch, especially if it's your first or second time speaking to them. Now, there are two ways to switch topics. Number one, change the subtopic. Instead of singers, talk about songs. Instead of playing sports, talk about watching sports. You can say, by the way, then ask any question. Remember, start general, look at their reaction, and then go specific if they're interested. If you can switch topics smoothly, the conversation will flow, and you will never run out of things to talk about. But you do need to watch out for two things. One, don't switch too quickly or often. If you do, it becomes hard to get to know the other person, and it's pretty exhausting for the speaker and listener. I recommend about 5 to 10 minutes on each topic for a short conversation. Number two, try to avoid picking completely random topics. Let's say you're talking about music, and suddenly they ask, "Oh, by the way, do you play video games?" You might think, huh? Music and video games are not related at all, so it feels unnatural. But, for example, if earlier they said, "Oh, I love video game music. For example, Final Fantasy." Then later, you can switch to this topic. By the way, earlier you said you like Final Fantasy music, right? Do you like to play video games? Remembering information about the other person and finding connections is a key skill for smooth communication. By the way, if you still can't think of any topics, there's another natural way to continue the conversation. But first, we need to go outside. This is my garden. There's not much here, as you can see, except, well, a lot of weeds. Now, you might be thinking, why are there so many weeds? Well, the main reason is I'm lazy, but anyway. The next small tip for small talk is use your environment. Depending on where you are, there will be many objects and situations that you can talk about. Especially if you're walking outside, for example, in the city. There's always interesting things around you that can start a new topic. Even if you're inside in one place, there are questions. Have you ever been to Tokyo? You just have to use these beautiful eyeballs and look carefully around you. Finally, let's talk about one more essential skill for small talk that even many natives can't do. Balance the conversation. Unfortunately, sometimes conversations can be very one-sided. You're doing your best to make conversation, but the other person only gives short answers and never returns questions. It's exhausting, right? And this is key. Talking is more exhausting than listening. And when our brain is working overtime for too long, it becomes really difficult to continue small talk. When we listen to their answer, it's a chance to take a break from speaking. If you don't want you or your partner's brain to burn out during conversation, you both need to balance asking and answering questions. Small talk is easy to do but difficult to master. But if you do master it, you'll become more confident, you'll build better relationships, and your English level will skyrocket. Good luck, have a wonderful day, and bye for now.